Yep. Yep. Oh. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Oh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of Sunset Rants. I am your host for today, Dee. Biddy is under the weather today, so we are joined by Stork, who's here to fill in her place. Tonight's show is going to revolve around Trump's fiery Davos moment, which was just... And we got couple things to get into, like the deep freeze coming, some ancient graffiti, ice in Maine, and a very smart cow. So that's pretty cool. You can find me on X as Cynical Latina, and you could find Stork here on X as well as Mad Stork 91. Hi.
Hi.
How are you today?
Oh, well, I had a new guy crack on my back earlier, so that was fun. So
Good times.
New chiropractors are always fun, yeah. But no, I've had a pretty good day. Just productive, working, doing things, getting things done.
That is awesome. I think you need to mute yourself on Discord, though.
Oh, my apologies on that. I may have missed that.
I'm like, hearing you double. It's okay.
Yep, sorry.
There you go. That's so much better. Cool. Well, I'm glad to have you here. Thank you so much. For those of us you tuning in, you can catch us on Rise of Middle America. If you go and check us out there, there's all our little profiles and bios, a whole bunch of information, volunteering opportunities. You can also check the QR code that'll lead you right there. And let's kick off the show. So our first story today is going to be from CNBC. I was in the room when Trump addressed leaders in Davos. Here are my top takeaways. Woohoo! So the key points: the U.S. President Donald Trump addressed world leaders and CEOs at Davos amid his threats to annex Greenland. In the speech, Trump insisted the U.S. needs to take the Arctic island, even as he took swipes at politicians in the audience. Good for him. The tone oscillated between humor and provocation, and the tension was palpable. Ooh. So this week in Davos has been about many things: AI, geopolitics, markets, but President Donald Trump has been firmly at the front of everyone's mind. His much anticipated address at the World Economic Forum drew thousands, with attendees queuing for hours to get into the Congress Hall. I was one of them. I stood in line for more than an hour and a half. Even Blackstone Group CEO Steve Schwarzman, I'm horrible with names, had to wait in line with the rest of us. I finally cleared security and found a seat, luckily, given that many were refused entry to the hall. As the crowd packed in, the atmosphere began to resemble something closer to a star-studded concert than a policy forum. The audience included Apple CEO Tim Cook, blah blah blah. So a bunch of big people. Let's see. Trump was met with loud applause as he took the stage for what many billed as the most closely watched speech of this year's Davos. He opened by saying it was good to see so many friends and some enemies drawing laughter from the crowd. From there, he leaned heavily into self-assessment, describing himself as the most successful president and pointing to what he said were his major achievements accomplished in just 1 year, which, like, he always talks about. After more than an hour, Trump turned to the topic many in the room have been bracing for. Would you like me to talk about Greenland? He asked, drawing a loud yeah from the audience. Around me, some attendees shook their heads. One person seated behind me who said they were Danish muttered, "This is ridiculous." I am seeking immediate negotiations to once again discuss the acquisition of Greenland by the United States. The room felt noticeably quieter. "This is scary," one attendee in front of me said, exchanging uneasy glances with others. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember, Trump said on Greenland, though he did, for the first time, say he would not use force, resulting in a collective sigh of relief. I mean, but after all that, we do have some breaking news. So, hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Where is it? I guess I'm just going to have to lean in. So the breaking news is that details of the Trump-Greenland deal are starting to be revealed. The U.S. will gain control of small pockets of the land in Greenland. The U.S. will be involved in Greenland's mineral rights. Greenland is estimated to hold revenues of natural resources worth as much as $5 trillion. So the U.S. Golden Dome systems will be involved in Greenland when it's built. The deal is designed to block Russian and Chinese influence in Greenland. This will open the door to U.S.-backed infrastructure investment. The duration of the deal will have an indefinite time frame. This means President Trump will have secured land, minerals, and defense in one deal. Whoa. So what do you think about this, Stork?
Well, I mean, the big question is going to be the waterway rights because of the Northwest Passage that's being opened up as they're breaking ice, which don't get me even started with that because I've been going after crap like that for years because of what people are claiming is one thing or the other. But the bottom line is again, we don't seem to be securing the waterway rights for that portion of it, which is where Russia's trade in the future is going to be going through. And that's the big deal. That's the big question. That's the big ask is who's controlling the waterway through there. So when they say that we have pockets of land up in northeastern Greenland, that whole area, the question is, again, who owns the waterway rights? Who's doing that? The mineral rights was no question. I knew we were going to be going after that because everything he's been going after in Ukraine, anything like that, he's been going after minerals. There's also supposedly oil deposits off there. One of the big things that nobody's talking about is the fishing rights up in that area because I believe Greenland hosts actually one of the largest. I just thought about that. I just realized that or remembered that. But it's kind of a weird thing going on there. But no. The question is, again, what are they going to be getting out of it? And the answer is those things. And I haven't heard anything that secures specifically the waterway, which is probably the biggest geopolitical issue. So.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the things that he wanted, right? To secure that passageway. And I mean, obviously, yes, like minerals are a really huge deal right now. And we've seen like the stock market like fluctuating. Oh, well, actually, it just took a massive dive yesterday, but it kind of rebounded today. And I think it was like, I think China was closing up like with the whole thing with silver and all that. Yeah, China.
China, China,
I know.
China.
Oh, but yeah, I think, and then it's supposedly Mexico was also starting to close its market to us, and there's a whole bunch of like things up in the air where with minerals. So I think it's very important with all the things. I don't think we realize how much we need these minerals in like just daily products that we use and electronics and all this stuff. So I think that's going to be huge for us to be able to secure all that. And I think, I mean, I don't know why these countries want to act tough with Trump. He still always wins. Trump is always going to get what he wants. So I just don't understand. So let's see.
Well, one of the things though is like uranium, nickel, zinc, iron. I just had to look it up. These aren't things I have memorized or anything like that. But gemstones are only so interesting or important, but it's the zinc and the copper that are probably be the bigger thing, as well as the nickel, because those are, the rare earth elements that go in with some of like the lithium, for example, for these batteries, which, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Ford and a bunch of other companies have started going ham, converting some of these EVs that are no longer needed because Trump killed that, and home storage solutions. So the minerals are a big deal because China's had pretty much a lock on those for the last 10, 15 years as they've become more important. And that's something that's really changing for that. It's going to be a boon for us. I just don't know how much we're getting. I don't know what the share is, but it does secure us a strategic interest in that outside of them. So this is big. Yeah. This shuts down Russia and gets us something that we normally get from China.
Yeah, and I think anytime that we can kind of block China and Russia on anything is a good thing. Like for us, of course, with securing that, we're gonna stay on top and be, having like a huge brain fart, but it just like guarantees that we're going to stay on top of these markets. So I'd rather all that stuff going to us, regardless of the amounts, to have these deals than for them to be going to China and Russia.
Yeah, those are big things, but I don't think I don't think Greenland taking over, or sorry, Russia taking over Greenland was really ever an idea that was out there. I mean, it's possible, I guess, because again, Denmark's been talking about reforming and leaving them without a military to defend themselves. So,
yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to just see where all this leads. It's definitely interesting and definitely good to follow with it. And who knows? Maybe in the near future, we'll be visiting Greenland as part of the United States. I've been calling it Orangeland, but Trumpland, I don't know. Either one has a good ring to it.
Yeah, no. That's
Trumpistan.
Speaking of the Great White North, as it is, though, cold blast is blowing through here next week and next weekend. I've gotten several calls from people in Texas wondering how I'm going to be doing up here where I am, and just it's going to drop there. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're in Texas, so I mean,
yes.
It's going to drop or something, and so it just, the question is what is that going to become for us? Is it a blue northern? Are you familiar with any of this? Yes, no?
Am I familiar with what now?
The weather and the drop. I mean, I know they're talking about below freezing, but how big is it going to be, for the southern states, I guess, because I haven't seen a map of where it is exactly, but the story that we have here covers essentially all of the northern states are going to be covered in snow. It's going to drop Minneapolis, which I'm curious to see what the ice protests, of course, that have been going on for that's going to turn out to be, because it's just going to be freaking cold.
Yeah, because I'm in West Texas, and for Saturday, it's supposed to be 18 degrees with a high of 36 degrees. And for Sunday, it's going to be 13 degrees with a high of 28 degrees. And here it's very weird because the weather, like they'll say something, but it usually never happens that way. It'll either be worse or better. It's so hard to actually believe the news. They get it wrong. Like our weather, they get it wrong all the time. So we honestly don't know what the hell to expect.
Yeah, no, I will tell you that where I am locally, the temperature is always off by 5 degrees, and it could be raining outside, and it'll say it's sunny. So I'm curious as to what has happened with meteorology lately, but no. Temps are going to be in the 30s, which is below average for January for parts, I believe, up north in New York and stuff. And the power grid being stressed. I honestly, I think we solved all of the problems in Texas with ERCOT, because I think that one guy, or no, it was a woman who was on the ERCOT panel who was in Germany, had never been to Texas, and I think they kicked her off. But I hope it doesn't freeze again. Like I said, I'm not in Texas right now, but if the power cuts out again, I mean, we should have learned from this.
Yeah, it was really bad, that snowpocalypse, what we call it, because I didn't know that we were having this winter storm. I got off work and everybody started talking about it. And when I stepped out of work, it's like 4 o'clock. It was already, the temperature was dropping fast. And then from there, it was like, it started snowing. We got like 13 inches of snow. Again, our weather people always get it wrong. So the whole town was closed down for about a week, and they told us we were going to have rolling blackouts, but it was like, we got 15 minutes of power. Like they shut off the power for like 3 or 4 hours, and then we got 15 minutes of power, and then another 4 or 5 hours with nothing, and then 30 minutes of power, and then another 4 hours, 5 hours with nothing. So they kept increasing it with increments of like 15. But the last time they turned on our power, we were without power for almost 12 hours before they gave us like an hour of power, and then they shut it off until they restored power again. So it was like, what the hell? And it was freezing. So, but do you want me to read the story, or?
I mean, it's really talking about Canada and New York and the average temperatures up there, which again, it's going to be about 30. It's typically in 30, but it's being expected to drop into the 12 degrees. Friday with a partly sunny high of 36 and a low of 12, which is what I've been getting here kind of locally. And the temps of the high of 20 and 15 is what they're kind of looking at as it gets into the weekend. And that's just an insane, cold for them this time of year with what's going on. But again, I think other parts of the country are going to be much worse. If you look at the map there showing what the weather's going to be throughout the Midwest, it's not good.
No.
But February is usually the coldest month of the year, and that's
yeah.
snowing. But everybody needs to bundle up. You're looking at instant frostbite, a bunch of things like that. Stay warm, people. Like, don't risk it. Don't go out and do anything stupid. I had a friend that ended up in the hospital because he went out drinking on a bad New Year's Eve night. So,
oh, no. I mean, I guess the positive thing, at least what I'm seeing on my end, because I'm looking at my little app right now, is that I mean, it's basically supposed to creep in Friday night or start kind of Friday-ish. On Friday, we still have a high of 60, which is still kind of like warm for this time of year. But it's mostly Saturday and Sunday. By Monday, it's going to start warming up with a high of 46 in my area. Again, it could be wrong by like 50%, because that's just our weather here. But at least it's only supposed to last like the weekend. It's not going to be like a 7-day stretch, hopefully.
I was about to tell you about my time in the snowpocalypse. I basically woke up, the house was like 40 degrees, and I looked at my wife and said, "We are gone." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Pack a bag. We're going to a hotel right now before everyone else gets one." And that was probably
that was smart.
Done. Yeah. Yeah. But no, it's like I said, it's going to be bad. Hopefully we don't see the power outages. But again, I'm more worried about the Northwest than I am New York, honestly, with stuff like this.
Yeah, like here, since it's a small town, and the closest town to me is like an hour and a half away, where it's like a big town that have like grocery stores and a mall and all that. So I guess our grocery stores are completely cleared out. Like not completely, but like there's a like low stock on everything because people panic buy here. And so My husband tells me, I hope we don't need anything from the store because like shelves are looking really bare. And I was like, oh, hell. Did they buy all the toilet paper again? Because, I mean, it's going to be cold. Okay, you don't need that much toilet paper. You might not poop all that much more just because it's cold, or wrap yourself like a mummy for the cold outside. Like, calm down.
Yeah. That's really what we're looking at, though. So.
Oh, my. Okay, well, I mean, stay warm, people.
Yeah.
Stay warm. And like in a completely unrelated topic, we could totally move into our next bit here. What in the world? It's coming from The Guardian. And so we have a hand-shaped and Indonesian cave, maybe world's oldest known rock art. I mean, you could, maybe this was in the Ice Age, who knows? It kind of maybe related. So archaeologists say stencil painted with ochre in limestone cave in Muna Island was created at least 67,800 years ago. I don't know, man. I'm looking at that and it just looks like, where's the hand? I don't know. So the faded outline of a hand on a cave wall in Indonesia may be the world's oldest known rock art, according to archaeologists who say it was created at least 67,800 years ago. The ancient hand stencil was discovered in a limestone cave popular with tourists on Muna Island, part of a southeastern Sulawesi, where it had gone unnoticed between more recent paintings of animals and other figures. Beyond providing a minimum age for the cave art, the work furthers thinking of how and when Australia first became settled, with the stencil most likely created by the ancestors of Indigenous Australians. There's a lot of rock art out there, but it's really difficult to date, said Professor Maxime Obert, an archaeologist at Griffith University in Queensland. When you can date it, it opens up a completely different world. It's an intimate window into the past and an intimate window into these people's minds. I mean, there's a lot of really cool old like cave art. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're basically saying that there's a lot of rich history there, which like in one cave, a narrative scene depicting 3 human-like figures and a wild pig was dated to at least 51,200 years ago. The latest hand stencil was spotted at Ling Menduno, a cave on Sulawesi's southeastern peninsula. That already tongue-tied me. Though faded and partially obscured by a more recent motif on the wall, it was ascribed as a minimum age after the team dated tiny calcite deposits that have formed over the top. Humans have painted in the cave for millennia, with fresh images adorning the walls for at least 35,000 years. I mean, that's all really cool. I don't know about you, but I do like seeing this stuff. Although that, I mean, maybe looking at it from farther away, you could see the handprint in there a little bit more. Ice bath challenge. Hardy, we are not doing an ice bath challenge. Okay, I mean, if you want to do it and then film it so we can see and have a good laugh, but no. And we're not doing that.
My thoughts on this is I'm actually curious to know whether or not it's Denisovan or Neanderthal, because it wouldn't have been in there, but the haplogroups, I think that's too early for the distribution of people in that area. So we got a lot of questions about what that would be, but to me, all of this just reeks more of who invented noodles. And I know that's a strange statement, so I'll explain myself. And that is, everyone's arguing over who invented noodles first. And we're sitting in a situation here with who painted the first painting, who was there first, what is the oldest known artwork in a cave, which is the first people, where did civilization spring from? Like it's just kind of a dumb argument. It's cool, and these are obviously from people, but why we would want to get into an argument over it's 64,000 years old or 50,000 years old or 40,000 years old, I think it's all just kind of pointless. Again, the hand stencils would show that it's more Neanderthal based, which is also interesting because if you know anything of the area with the Denisovan diaspora through the the Pacific Islands and stuff like that. Do you know about Papua New Guinea, or am I just speaking about?
No, not a whole lot, but I still find it really interesting.
I'm speaking of esoterica, and I'm sorry. No, let me find the book that's useless facts somewhere. Okay. So in Papua New Guinea, there are a group of people that have a higher concentration of what's called Denisovan DNA, which is a whole separate group from what Neanderthals were back in the day. And with that, they were distributed more essentially in Asia than in Europe, where Europe was more Neanderthal that eventually intertwined or mixed with the Homo sapiens. And then the Homo sapiens went up and pushed out the Denisovan. But the highest concentration is still in that area, which is this is interesting because it's Neanderthal, it's not Homo sapien. It may be this other third group that we've only really started talking about in the last 20 or 30 years. We've known about them for a long time, but we've really only started talking about them a lot in the last, 10, 15 years.
That's
learn about them until like mid 2000s.
That's interesting because I was hearing that there might be, a more ancient species, and I don't remember where they were talking about, but it's more like of a pygmy species that's rarely seen, but like locals in this town, and I'm not sure if it might be Indonesia, that they've seen them and they stay to themselves and they don't talk like anybody else and they don't look like anybody else. But of course, whenever researchers go and
that is
that might be it. See, then I know, but I just don't know the terminology for it. But I found it really, 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 really interesting. Like it's pretty cool, but I mean, I think it's important for us to at least have like a theories of where civilization came from and how things started, and but I don't think it's productive to like sit there and argue about it, because in reality anybody's theory can be valid because we weren't there to see it. There was no like historical recordings. We're only going based off like primary sources of things that are found and carbon dated. Nobody knows. Your guess is as good as mine. Like,
it gets into a who created noodles argument.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, who gives a shit? Like, there's more pressing things in the world to argue about, so. There's that.
I'm more interested in the fact that there were pigs over there, for example. I know that seems dumb, but that means, okay, were they hunting wild pigs or were they cultivated pigs at that point? I don't care about like who did this first or how old the paintings are.
Yeah.
Who domesticated the pigs? Where do chickens come from? I know that's a weird question, but that is genuinely way more fascinating to me because they were essentially turned into something they kept on farms and stuff there somewhere in Southeast Asia. And then by the time that we're talking about the Roman times, it had spread literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So the question is like, where did that start and around what time? I'm more interested in that. How old is this hand stencil? That I'm just going to be real honest. Knowing what it is, I also know about cultural areas in Asia. How old is it really? Or did some guy put his hand up there and spray paint it like a couple of weeks ago? Maybe put some dust over the top of it. I got questions.
It's very possible.
I'm being serious. Like, do you know how many people in China or from China have gone to the Great Pyramid in Giza, right? And like put like, I mean, like literally like stenciled in something in Chinese. From what I remember, one of them was just like his name, and it was like a "is here" or "was here" kind of thing, like just the dumbest typical thing a human could put on something. And one of them was actually really offensive. Like
oh really?
Oh yeah. And so like there've been tons of Chinese people get in trouble for this, and so again, this is why I don't hold a lot of stock in this hand painting was 67,000 years old. I don't.
Imagine someone just goes and like graffitis like YOLO, and they're like, wow, YOLO is like a term from like 50,000 years ago.
Well,
Oh, yeah, it was carbon dated.
Kilroy was here. No. Seriously though, like you think about, for all we know, okay, these pictures of a horse could mean like virility and long life or something. And then some guy's name was Chicken, so we see a horse and we see chicken. It's not actually complex. All he was saying was, I'm virile, and we have no idea because it's 60,000 years old.
Kilroy was here.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. But that's literally why I don't look too deeply into things like this.
No, but it's funny. I mean, it's interesting, but yeah, it's just like a fun fact that you can store in your brain and just put it back there with like all the rest of the useless information and just save it as an icebreaker. There you go, you know.
No, I really do have a book of worthless information somewhere. It's somewhere over there. I still have never unpacked all of my bookshelf, and the thing is I may be leaving this house soon, and so anyhow, the book of useless knowledge is over there, I think, somewhere. But transitioning into everybody's favorite topic lately, I guess we can finally talk about ice in Minnesota because it's cold, like Minnesota, I guess. I think Maine. Oh, sorry, I apologize. I'm being dumb. But it was up in Maine where all of this is going. Sorry, I talk about Minnesota to the point that I am nauseous about it. So it's Maine going up here in this area. They're cracking down. If anybody who's missed out on this yet, who hasn't paid attention, they're going to every state until they get in enough trouble, and then they go to another state until they get in enough trouble, and then they just kind of keep doing that with all the blue states. It's fascinating. It's like a round robin. Where are they going next? Where are they deporting from next? No. The mayor, David, Morse, condemned ICE operations for detaining residents without local notice, and a whole bunch of things. It's just a leftist playbook going into all of this. The quote right there at the top, and I mean, that's kind of, at least one peaceful U.S. citizen observer from Westbrook was targeted for intimidation by a masked federal law enforcement officer this morning. I'm sure he was doing absolutely nothing. He was another innocent baby angel, Aladdin, as one guy likes to put it often, which I'm sure he'll cover the story sometime soon. This is outrageous behavior from a federal authority, and I stand by our citizens' rights to peacefully observe and protest. Robin, what was her name? Good? Was it Robin Good? What was her name again?
Renee Good. Our angel. She's like our martyr for all things like single brain cell organism. You know.
She was just trying to turn her car around to get a better view so she could be a better observer. And that's what it is. The agents really just misunderstood her intentions.
I mean, she was never intending to hurt anyone. She was just, but legally observing, a legal observer and a fine, patriotic U.S. citizen that was, not impeding law enforcement operations at all,
I'm not even against these people being legal observers, because I don't know if you know this, but if you go back a year or two ago, there were stories coming out about hard crackdowns on these legal observers long before ICE ever got involved, right? And this is a real thing they do. They go through civil rights, in areas where the police have been known to be a little heavy-handed, and they go through and do this stuff. I'm not sitting there and hating it, but that's not what these people are doing. They're putting on, I did a journalism and going and obstructing ICE, and it's just dumb as shit.
I think anybody that's trying to label themselves a legal observer should have some kind of qualification for it. Like I'm a rando, right? I'm a nobody. And I can't just show up and say I'm a legal observer. That I have no credentials. I have nothing that's labeling me. It's just a personal title. I could go over there and say, I'm just a tree standing here observing. Like it carries the same amount of weight. And then when they're taking frozen ice bottles and throwing them at people and cars and anybody, you're not a legal observer. Observing is like using your eyeballs and staying far away and maybe recording. No, these people are up in your face with their stupid fucking whistles, blowing them, just being annoying with their little bull horns and just aggravating the shit out of people. You're not getting your point across by doing that. When you started becoming annoying and aggressive, whatever it is that you stand for is going to push the people that are listening to you away from whatever it is that you're doing. So, you don't just get to claim I'm a legal observer when you're out destroying property or impeding law enforcement. I think one of the biggest issues is that the mainstream media and some of these politicians have encouraged the population to think of ICE as like a mall cop. They have no authority. Like Renee Good's wife, who said, why do they have real bullets? I don't know if they think this is a video game where they're playing like cops versus robbers, where they feel like they're the heroes. But it's pretty stupid that this is the impression that the politicians and the mainstream media are giving these people. Then they go put themselves in a situation where they touch a federal officer and they're going to get maced and tackled to the ground and arrested. And then, the peaceful observer got beat up by the police and arrested, and they were a U.S. citizen, and you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens, where it's like you put your hands on an officer, a federal agent, you're going to get arrested. This is the legal process.
I've tried workshopping this a little bit, which is I've asked a few people what it is they think or a word to come up with something like this. And another one of the Romanation people came up with was indignant retardation. And that's what it is. It's learned retardation with some of this, where they're going with it. But yeah, no, I'm looking over here. Sorry, there was something in chat, but sorry, no. When I was 19,
yeah, I'm with you, Hardy. I blame everyone too.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong chat, I guess. But yeah, no, it's just indignant retardation. Essentially, it's learned retardation from
learned.
No, I'm being very serious.
From the Leering Center.
No, from the protest of love during the Summer of Love riots and everything, from code and all that. They were being shot at with rubber bullets. They were being treated like that, and they learned to be retarded.
Yeah.
When they keep telling themselves that ICE has no right to be there, there's a video of a guy getting arrested in front of his wife, and she's like, "Where's your warrant for this arrest? Where's your warrant for this arrest?" And he's like, "He's committing a crime right now because he's an illegal in the U.S." So literally, just him being here is illegal. So you can arrest him at any time.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that blows me away. Like, oh, none of these people are criminals. They jumped the border. Like they came into the country illegally. They did things in a nefarious way to get into the country. They're illegally here. They broke the law. The moment they crossed that border without permission, they broke the law. And they should be deported. It's not rocket science.
Literally every time the second hand goes across on a clock, they are still breaking the law.
Yeah. And every minute you get away with it, like, oh, they've been here for 30 years. You've been breaking the law for 30 years. Like, I think at that point, like you should have to pay a fine for being here illegally for 30 years. Like every year that you're in the country illegally, you got to pay. It goes up and it goes up. Yeah. It's just so weird. Like, so you've been getting away with crimes this whole time. Like, I don't know. The logic behind it is really stupid and it really bothers me. But like what? Yeah.
And anyhow, what this basically amounts to is Maine is going to sit there and complain. The governor has said we're going to monitor this more, and okay, great, congratulations, you're going down the same dumb path everybody has gone to obstruct ice.
Yeah.
So brave. But yeah, no.
Stunning and brave.
Brave. But anyway.
All right. So I guess we can move on to our next story, which Brian is really, really, really excited about, by the way, our producer. So this
Very
is
excited.
coming from, I don't know, I can't see who the article is from, but Noble.
Science.org.
Science. Okay, it's coming from Science. Okay, so there's a video, so we're going to play it. Let's go. Oh, that thing is cute.
For a second, I thought Brian was going to show the video that I shared with him earlier.
Oh, that fourth picture. Is he scratching his butt? Or
Yes.
she? It's a she because it's got udders. But that is so funny.
One fat cow.
Can I have this cow? Like, this is so cute. Excuse me. So Noble, the Austrian cow, has learned to use tools, as we have seen from the video. The first evidence for tool use in cattle includes a skill previously seen only in humans and chimpanzees. I mean, I know I scratch myself against the wall at home, like the corner of the door. Oh, I feel so good.
My wife hates when I do that, but yeah.
I mean, it gets it. Like, so about a decade ago, a baker in a mountainous village in southern Austria noticed his cow doing something unusual. When Veronica had an itch, she would grab a stick in her mouth and use it to scratch her body. Over the years, the brown bovid's technique improved. She could pick up objects as long as a broom or a rake and move them across with her prehensile tongue. Prehensile. Thank you, Brian. Changing their length and orientation to ensure the best possible scratch. That's what she said. I don't know about y'all, but okay. So the behavior isn't just a clever trick. It's the first documented case of tool use in cattle. Scientists report today in Current Biology, and it turns out one of Veronica's skills has only been seen in humans and chimpanzees, like Edward said. So, I'm so glad someone found this, said Dorothy Frangazzi, a comparative psychologist at the University of Georgia, who's not involved with the research. Though experts don't always agree of what constitutes tool use, Frangazzi, who studies the behavior of monkeys, said she's convinced Veronica has mastered it. I think this will make scientists pay a lot more attention to cows and other livestock. So Alice Ausberg first heard about Veronica last summer, a cognitive biologist at the University of Veterinary Medicine, Vienna. She has recently written a book about tool use in the animal kingdom when a friend who knew the Austrian baker texted her a video of the now 13-year-old cow. Ausberg was skeptical. People often send the reports of pets and other animals supposedly using tools, but she says the evidence is rarely there. One paper claimed that when dogs chew on sticks, they're using them as tools to brush their teeth. They're probably just playing. To qualify as tool use, Ausberg says a behavior has to meet the three main criteria. The tool must become an extension of the animal's body, such as when Mary the elephant showers herself with a hose. That's effectively an elongation of her trunk. The tool must allow the animal to do something it would otherwise have great difficulty doing, as when cows use stick to pull grubs from tree hollows that their beaks can't fully probe. Crows, not cows, sorry. And the animal must change the orientation of the tool to make it do its job, such as when monkeys use monkey-positioned rocks in just the right way to break open nuts. To see whether Veronica belonged to the exclusive club, Ausberg and her postdoc Antonio Osuna Mascaro took a 5-hour road trip to the cow's home in okay, I cannot say that, but wherever the cow lives, the bovine's owner, Whitgar Wilgili, runs a small mill that bakes bread and desserts, and he has treated Veronica like a pet since she was a calf. She is not milked, and she has her run of the property, including living quarters near the family home and access to a large open field. When Whitgar is around, she greets him with a loud moo. As soon as the scientists arrive, Wigili gave Veronica a stick, and she immediately started to scratch herself with it. I mean, that's really cute. I guess in the following weeks, they did over 70 trials, placed a heavy-duty deck brush in different orientations. In almost every case, the cow used a sweeper as a tool. That is so cute. I mean, clearly, I think animals are a lot smarter than what people want to give them credit for. They have so much intelligence behind them, but I think it's easier to just kind of put it aside and just say that they're dumb creatures. But I think they're very intelligent. I mean, I'm just really biased because I have 5 dogs, and they're all so different that it just kind of blows me away how their personalities. I don't know, but it's saying here that cows can be potty trained. Like, wow.
Okay, 2 things, especially now that you brought that up. Have you ever seen the movie Big Daddy?
Yes.
Okay, there's a wonderful part where the kid is being left behind in court because, the court takes him away and everything. And he goes, but I want my own ass. And that's literally all I can think of right now when you're saying you want the cow, is the cow sitting there and he's wiping himself. And now that you brought up the train, the cows go potty, just perfectly fitting in there. But I linked Brian earlier to one of the earliest videos I ever saw on the internet, which is the Cows with Guns video. If you're not familiar with that video, you need to see it, because this is dangerous. And what we're really seeing here is an uprising of cows.
Oh my.
This is not a joke. We
Cows
have to deal
with
with
guns?
the cow problem. Yes, you should look up at this. Yes, we have to deal with the cows. This should not be allowed. This is not a joke. I love steaks.
Okay. Me too. Oh God, I'm carnivore.
And this endangers my steak consumption.
Hey,
So what
we're
I'm
gonna have
saying
that
is-
awesome 3D printed meat pretty soon. Like, get ready to eat that like fake shit.
No. As a Texan, 1, no, and 2, the Dr. Pepper situation at the moment is bad enough. Please do not discuss the fake meat issue, because that is just as fake as that vegetarian crap. I do not endorse any of this. This is a horrible idea.
Yeah,
Science is not
no.
only- Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't try. I mean, I'm just saying it as a joke. But I would never eat any fake meat. I don't trust it. What is it? The like the eternal cell or whatever that the hell that they make it out of. I think that's when studies come out in 50 to 100 years, they're going to be like, this is what's going to contribute to like mega super cancer or something like that. Like, if you have cells that are eternal, isn't that kind of what cancer is? And this is me, like, maybe I'm a retard, like I don't know much, but I mean, I feel like it's common sense that you think something that never stops growing and then you put it in your body, like your intestinal tract and your gut is like a very wild and amazing thing. No, that I'd never. And I love animals. I adore animals. I'd be okay with the population of the earth ceasing and there just being me and animals, to be honest with you. But I love meat. Like, I love steak. I love chicken. Like, I love you. You're cute. I'm going to love you and I'm going to thank you, but I'm going to eat you. Like, if it's between you and me, you're dead. I'm going to eat you. And you're going to be really tasty. And I don't care. I'll name you and everything. I'll treat you real good. I'll pet you and love you. And then I'm going to eat you and I'm going to eat you.
Just so we're clear, PETA would now call you a psychopath for what it is.
I don't care. I don't care. But that's what's going to happen because I love meat. So and I love bacon, so I don't care. They're real cute and everything, but no, your food. I love my food. I'm gonna play with my food. I'm still gonna eat my food.
When the farmer said that'll do, pig, she's like, no, no, no. We got to see what kind of bacon we can make out of it first. Then that'll do.
People, I'm PETA. People for eating tasty animals. Yes. Like when they were sticking the stickers on the meat saying, "This is Bessie, you're about to eat me." I was like, oh, look, we get a bio of my meat. Oh, I'm taking this one with the picture on it. Oh, look, Bessie was so freaking cute. She's going to taste so good.
The cuter the animal, the better. No, okay. But no. That's kind of what it is. The eternal cell thing. I'm still a little bit confused on how all of that works because the more you're right, the more you replicate a cell, the shorter the telomere usually gets. And so this eternal cell, I'm curious as to how they get that to bioengineer the meat. And I think you're right. We're going to be just eating cancerous meat at some point. This is not a well thought out idea. This is
No. I mean, if you really think about it, that's what we could be eating, like tumors. We could be eating tumors that they're growing in a lab, and then they taste just like steak. Look, they got the fat layers too. I'm like, I am terrified watching you print that 3D meat. There is no damn way. And the thing is that I think over time they're going to just start slipping it into our food, just like they did with. I'm sure they have, like they're just like they did with the what is it? The chemically engineered like vegetables and fruits and stuff. They slowly started just mixing it in with our stuff. Now, if you look on the little boxes and stuff, this is like genetically modified, and you're just like, why do they have to genetically modify cereal? Like almost every single label that you look at now at the store says it's genetically modified, and you're just like, and then people are getting sicker and sicker, and you're just like,
I know the answer to this question, but
I do too. Wait.
Brian is upset that we're not talking more about the tool use and whether or not they're going to be using 9mm soon. And this is, again, cows with guns. No. But no,
I think they're very intelligent creatures, and I think a lot of creatures are extremely intelligent. A lot of people don't want to give it credit for, but just the fact that this little cow, well, not little, but this cow knows what it wants and uses things to get what it wants is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah. So
I'm sure she'd still be tasty though. Okay, so Brian is bringing up a really good point that this cow really wanted butt scratches, but didn't get enough butt scratches from its owner, so it figured out how to scratch its own butt. Did I sum that up pretty good, Brian? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, there you go. But again, everyone needs to go see Cows with Guns. But on the genetically modified meat, the Campbell CEO went on a rant, like for something about a month ago. I don't know if you saw it. That it's already.
I heard something about it.
It's already in like your microwavable pastas and stuff.
I don't eat any of that stuff, but yeah, they were saying that the chicken and stuff and the Campbell soups was all like that fake meat, and it makes sense how they've been able to keep their prices kind of low. So if meat ever becomes cheaper, like even then, like some lady some time ago was showing chicken, like just chicken, the package of like chicken breast from Walmart, right? And it's like all thready, like it's coming out, and you could start like kind of shredding it, and it's just like chicken has never behaved like why is it like this? And I've noticed that too whenever I buy chicken from like Walmart. I'm like, it's raw, it's not cooked. Why is it shredding?
Well, yeah, it's because it's glued together, because it's not actually coming from a whole chicken breast. But I think the important thing that we should note here is these guys obviously don't have mad cow disease because they're using tools.
That's a really good point. On that note, let's play the transition and go. All right, y'all. For y'all that don't know, this is Caption This, and it's very, it very much aligns with our last story. Is it build? What is it building? Really? Okay, so we have to kind of make a caption for this. If it's it goes into like a stockpile kind of like of ideas and stuff. We eventually will put these on a t-shirt, whoever wins tonight. Yeah, put out your best caption this moment. This is a pretty funny one. It's just, I think it would be pretty cool if it was building the like a crossbow, maybe. I don't know.
This is so the thing is the first time I ever did caption that, I ended up ruining it and just gave my own caption for things. So now I'm trying really hard to hold it in. Okay.
Yeah.
Really hard. Because I've got ideas. I'm just not gonna do it. So
You can. I mean, that's the fun of it. I usually try to come up with one, but sometimes I feel like, but we already got.
yeah.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Rebel came in with Moo Tech. That's really cute. That is really cute. Let's see.
Good one.
Let's see. Vash. Hi Vash. He came in with Nancy Pelosi new puppet pal. I mean, that is a cute puppy pal. Puppet pal. Puppy.
Engineering the new butt scratcher. That's mine. Go ahead.
That's a good one. Okay, so Brian says engineering the new butt scratcher. This hey, it's gonna be the butt scratcher Moo 1000.
Okay.
Get it? Butt scratcher Moo 1000. Yeah. Okay, it's genius. Because I said so. It's genius.
It's genius. Okay.
Oh no, Vash! Don't take too much NyQuil. Oh my god, I hate that stuff.
Oof.
It gives me nightmares and it makes my like restless leg syndrome just impossible. Okay, so let's see.
That's kind of my vote so far. Butt scratcher, butt scratcher, butt scratcher.
Or it could be the Moo Scratcher. The Moo Scratcher Moo 1000. I wrote that kind of weird.
She felt funny.
You too can have a degree from DeVry University. I maybe do like from MooVry University. What was the other one? ITT Tech. The ITT Tech. This is our new MIT engineer.
Mm-hmm. This is Daisy, our new Moo Tech engineer.
Yes. Let's see. Let's see.
I did slightly take Moo Tech though from one of the other person, Rebel over there in Rumble chat though. So I'm still giving that to her on that one.
Well, I mean, it's not fair. I got that from Brian.
There you go. I'm not a plagiarist.
I slightly did plagiarize. Like, if I win, I'm giving credit to Brian because that was yeah, that was all
Very
him.
good.
So instead of MIT, it's MUIT. MUTech. Okay, so it
Moose.
is. What are we leaning towards?
One of the MooTech ones. There's tons of MooTech and New IT. All of these are good.
Yeah, MooTech. Yeah, because it's kind of like a playoff of all of Rebel. So I'm going with Rebel. What do you think, Stork?
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, Brian, you agree, bud? Okay. So the win for today is going to go to Rebel with no yell. Congratulations on winning Caption This with MooTech. It was pretty funny and we all kind of played off of it. So thank you for engaging and giving us that amazing caption. It's going to go towards our pile. The ones our previous caption this we're going to eventually put these on a t-shirt. So thank you very much for participating. And I think we had a really good show. Do you have any final thoughts for today's Stork? It's
No.
forming.
Just go tell someone you love them. Give somebody else a hug.
That is very true. So I definitely feel that there's going to be a lot of changes coming along the way that we just need to keep an eye on with everything with Davos and Trump and Greenland, Trumpistan, and stay warm, wherever it is that you are, this cold front, we don't know exactly what the outcome of it is going to be, but, stay warm and, have at least some water or something as backup just in case, but it should only be the weekend. So hopefully not too dire, but anyways, again, if you want to, possibly volunteer with us, or maybe try a hand at hosting one of the shows or whatever, you can go and try out for on riseofmiddleamerica.com. Brian will put up the QR code. It will be there in the corner. You can always access our main page through that. You can join our Discord community where we have a lively bunch of people there where you could kind of hang out and just kind of chit chat with us. We try to pop in and out of there. But yeah, you can reach me on X as Cynical Latina, IMD, and my co-host Stork at MadStork91, also on X. If there's nothing more, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show, and thank you for tuning in today.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.